The fact that we're even here is extremely sad, that this has gotten to this point, and it's so difficult for people to realize that a mistake was made, that they're willing to go to this length is unacceptable. They were elected by us, we pay for this, and they answer to us as well. And a mistake has been made, and they need to fix that. And the one that started it was the forced resignation of Lynette Mulch. After becoming aware of this, I was determined to find out more, and what I found really opened my eyes. The system in place has failed from the top down, and I'll admit the community does have some blame in this. It's easy to just let someone else do it. The overwhelming majority of parents I contacted spoke of negative encounters with Principal Waters, and even a greater number expressed concern about the leadership at the school. Yet when I contacted the board members, the majority claimed this was the first they had heard of any problem. I have a hard time believing this, mainly because I personally talked with people who did contact the board, but were, and I quote, thrown under the bus by the good old boys club. Those words were important because I heard that phrase over a dozen times. Over a dozen. That fact alone makes it evident that the board, at the very least, has an image problem. Missouri School Board Ethics Code: avoid domination by cliques and other partisan or self-seeking groups, and render all decisions based on fact. And they didn't do that. Not at all. This brings me to the board minutes of the last meeting. It said you entered in a closed session with Ms. Mulch, and after a few minutes, she left. Another Missouri School Board Ethics Code says, make my decisions only after judicious consideration of the evidence and the viewpoints of competent and or interested individuals. There is no possible way that hearing one side for a few minutes, you could have even come close to following this rule. This wasn't a decision about whose fuel bid we accept or whether or not we need a new school bus. Making this decision immediately affected every student, present and future, every parent, every member of this faculty and staff, and it made one of the most caring and involved teachers we have ever had question whether becoming a teacher was the right decision. I hope support shown from the community has eased her mind about that. You blindly followed administration's recommendations and their reasons. I use the word reasons very loosely because they weren't reasons, they were excuses. Excuses to get rid of an extremely capable and caring teacher, one who was capable of doing her job without needing Principal Waters' constant attention or help. Principal Waters views people like this as a threat. Several board members expressed to me that if Ms. Mulch wasn't up for tenure, she would still have a job. Yet another board member stated, and I quote, tenure has bitten us in the ass. Yet another member stated, none of us there is a fan of tenure. This board's fear of tenure is scary, because if they're going to eliminate teachers before tenure, how many qualified teachers will even give this district a first look, let alone a second? Everyone on the board kept referring to the same teacher and the problems experienced after tenure was given. I say this was not a problem with tenure, but a failure of the administration and board by giving tenure to a teacher who truly did not deserve it. And now this board feels it is okay to take this out on another teacher because of the failure of others. Our administration has failed in this case as well. Atmosphere in the school is as toxic as anyone has seen it. Teachers are afraid of speaking out for fear of retaliation from the administration, and it is not an isolated case. I believe you, the board, has been aware of this for quite some time, but in your unquestioning support of the administration, you have let down your teachers, this district, and most importantly, the kids who are going to suffer from the very administration you've put in place. I had heard from multiple board members, and I quote, well, there comes a time when you just have to trust your administration. Not true. As a board, you never have to trust your administration. In fact, your job is to question, is to ask, and is to make them prove to you the reason for their actions. But no, we have a board who thinks that their choices for administration were so good that they don't even need to give the administration's decisions a second thought. I know this is true because you never gave Ms. Mulch a second thought. In fact, I believe a few of you had your minds made up before you even sat down. I want you to see a couple of things now. The first is a letter from one of JW's tutors. We haven't seen this person for over a year now. She still calls on occasion to check on him, and when she asked about school, she became aware of the situation. See, she worked with Ms. Mulch on JW's lessons while he couldn't attend school, and she wrote this letter. We didn't ask her to, it just showed up one day. And I have the letter. I'm not going to read it right now, but it's a very glowing review of how hard it is to work.
We have time.
Oh, okay. Fine. To whom it may concern, my name is Shauna Mazetas. I am a hospital-based teacher at Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City. I am a certified teacher for the state of Missouri, taught in the Lee Summit School District for 10 years. In my current position, I coordinate and provide educational services for our patients that are in the hospital for long-term care. My population includes many students with blood diseases and cancer. I work closely with many different school districts, with staff, and most importantly, with teachers. We collaborate to create reasonable education goals for our patients and students, and then put these goals into a workable homework plan. I try to do the homework with patients while they are here and provide educational stimulation as well as a sense of normalcy. I communicate frequently with the teacher so that when the patient is discharged, they know what the patient has been able to complete. It requires a lot of coordination, patience, and care on the part of the classroom teacher. In addition to working with the 20-plus students in the classroom, very special consideration must be given to this patient student in need. I was able to work with J.W. Heil for many months at Children's Mercy while he bravely fought his battle with cancer. I have kept in contact with the family since he was here last, and best shared that Ms. Mulch, J.W.'s teacher, may not have a teaching position there anymore. I feel compelled to let you know that I have learned through professional experience in sharing this child. She is a good teacher. She is compassionate, goal-oriented, and maintains a good balance between wanting to provide the best education for JW while considering the situation he is facing. It is a very difficult thing to do. She provided insightful, timely information. I felt like we worked well together and that she was amenable when assignments needed to be altered or when skills needed to be reviewed. She had vested interest in him, and it showed. I would have to think that someone of this caliber would be an asset in any school district. I know JW has been lucky to have her, and I felt lucky to be able to work with her. She didn't have to write this. She wanted to. She never met Ms. Mulch in person, but was so impressed by her ability to handle an extremely difficult situation, she told us she felt compelled to. Because as she put it, the board needs to know they have something special there. Second thing I have to show you is a student progress tracker. This is right here. They look familiar to a lot of you, I'm sure.
Yep.
The start date for this one was March the 8th. End date March the 26th. 13 school days. JW went from a pre-assessment score of 17% to a post-assessment score of 89%. That's an F to a B+. I have stacks of these. Who was responsible for this? Was it the board? No. Administration? No. It was a teacher that was responsible for that. Not any one of them. Not any of them. What is really amazing about this one right here is the dates on it. The 8th through the 26th. Because during that time, this teacher was forced to sign a resignation, threatened by administration, ignored by the school board, and through all of that humiliation still produced results like that. This is what the culture of Norborne schools is all about. That's it, right there. The administration is the one that doesn't fit the culture here. Another example of the administration not fitting the culture, I don't have to write this one down, because I know it. JW had gotten out of chemo on a Saturday. Got up on Monday and wanted to go to school. By the time we got him around, got his pills in him, we got here at 10 minutes after 8. We walked through the door. It wasn't, "Hi, how are you? Good to see you." None of that. Principal Waters looked at her watch and looked at me and said, "Dad, school starts at 8 o'clock.
Oh my God.
I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. We walked past her down the hall. JW started crying. I said, "I'm sorry that I took so long taking my pills and made us late." Is that what we want here? Do these kids, is that what we need these kids to put up with? What this shows is administration's desire to keep everyone and everything in their place, no matter who gets hurt in the process. I know, because that comment hurt. And more importantly, it hurt my son. And I don't think anyone in here would stand for that. Thank you.
Very good. Very, very good. We're glad to listen to it again.
Yeah.
I agree. Here?
Mine can go unopened. It's not a full session right now. You can hear what you have to say.
We're just having a party right now. We're just left us to our own devices.
Anybody can tell us what we're gonna say. Once we say it's closed session, they can't for 48 hours. But you can tell us before. Right, Judy? That's right.
Not only, they're gonna be fearful. I'm not sorry I was a teacher, but in that respect, that's gonna limit their contact with you, because they're gonna be fearful of what the administration will do.
They are fearful.
Can I add one thing? I'm trying to look around, I can't really see everybody. I've been through school closing. I've been there. This is where it started. Before we closed, this is exactly where we were 5 years before it closed. Our high school became a revolving door for unqualified teachers. And we lost patrons, we lost students. Our students lost out on education. I'm not doing it again no more. Not
Like I
again.
said, it is setting a precedent. That is gonna,
It'll get worse before it gets better.
I have a lot to add to
Been there,
that
done
too.
it. I like your shirt.
Oh, here's the attorney. He needs to just go stand in the corner so everybody can, yeah.
Can I have a motion to go back into closed session? There you go.
So we've bumped up the public comment to the next item on the agenda, and then we'll bump up, item A to be the first item of new business. If anybody wants to stay around for the reorganization of the board and to see the approval of the minutes and accounts payable, you're more than welcome to do that, but I know a lot of you came to speak and to listen, and that's your priority, so. We are at the time of public comment. Public comment will be limited to 3 minutes. There's not gonna be any limit placed on how many people wanna speak. But if you go to talk about a specific person, then that will be moved to closed session, and that conversation would go across the hall into the library. And so even if it was to talk about how much you appreciated an individual's performance, the advice of our attorney is that you would still be putting a person's personal information into public comment, and that would expose the district to risk. So,
Can your attorney explain that to us a little more?
here's
You know what we're talking about. I'm a taxpayer, I've been here for 70-some years. I've never seen anything like this. I'm a veteran, I fought for this, I'm gonna talk. Hide behind him and not let these people talk or hear what's going on, and you need to get out.
So if you'd like to speak, you're asked to give your name and your address. The attorney will not be answering questions to the public. If the attorney answers questions to the public, the district has waived attorney-client privilege for communication with the attorney. So the way it would work is, if there was a question, I would do my best to answer as many questions as I can. If I was asked a question that I would want to have legal advice on, there's 2 ways we could handle it. The board could move to go back into closed session, and we could ask him, he could give us advice in closed session, we could come back in here. That would for sure slow the process down, or I could give you an answer as soon as I could after I had time to talk with Tom individually. So at this time, if anybody would like to address the board, the floor is open. Natalie?
Do I stand up? Or do you right here?
Yeah.
Natalie Ferguson, address is 107 West 4th Street, Norborne, Missouri, 64668. And I'm just gonna read what I've prepared. Norborne Schools has been a large part of my life. My parents ran these halls. My siblings and I ran these halls. Our children have run and are still running these halls. This school is a part of our family as well. It has stuck with us through some of the worst times of our lives. Norborne Schools couldn't have been a better place for my children to be after the loss of their father on October 5th, 2013. The board, the administration, the staff, and the students all had my boys' backs, as well as my back. After that fateful day, our Norborne School family was the only normal my boys had. With help from family, friends, and this school, we have survived. To show our appreciation and love, and to do the right thing by our community and school that wrapped their arms around us and kept us going, we give back. We give back through a scholarship each year. We give back by volunteering year after year. We do this not only to say thank you, but because we love our school. We want only the best for our school and our students. One of the biggest compliments you can give the town and school you were raised and educated in is to raise and educate your own children in that same place. In turn, the biggest compliment a school, its board, and its administration can give is to do everything they can to provide a safe and quality education. Have you ever heard the saying, you have to spend money to make money? Raise your hand if you've heard it. And I'm certain all of us were told by mom and dad the first time they handed over the keys, remember to check the oil. Always change the oil on time. It'll last forever with proper maintenance. Well, education is the same way. I understand it's a struggle on small schools with smaller budgets to keep good quality teachers, with larger districts being able to offer more money and benefits. I understand you have to make tough decisions to make ends meet. But when you have the gift of a good quality teacher, keep them. Pay the extra money to keep them. These teachers help our children become better students, which benefits us all. Between these teachers and our parents, we are able to properly maintain our children's education, which will last forever. In closing, I say directly to our board and our administration, when you have a quality teacher who is loved by the students and parents, who goes the extra mile, who wants to stay, and whose employment reviews are no less than outstanding on a continuous basis, do what you were elected to do. Do everything you can for our school and community to provide a quality education to today's Norborne R-VIII students. If you do this, today's Norborne students will go out with a good education. They will be successful. They will have the tools to provide for a family of their own. And with God's will, they will want to bring their own children back to be raised and educated right here at home. Always remember, a good education is an investment, not an expense. Thank you.
Anybody next? Now's the time for public comment. If you have any.
I'll go next.
You want me to wait? Okay. You're on the agenda. There's Ann in the back.
I thought they were combining it all.
I know the town, the size of Norborne is no bigger than the school is. Maybe you only need one principal. It may save you some money. And if you keep a good teacher around.
A very good point.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Susan Wise. I live at 29812 D Highway, Norborne, Missouri. I'm a tax-paying citizen of Norborne, Missouri. I'm here tonight in support of a wonderful teacher that you're about to lose due to what I understand are your issues with tenure and issues with conflict between principal and teacher. Even though principal and teacher did not see eye to eye on all issues, this teacher still receives perfect reviews on all evaluations. She is a very outstanding, respected, and well-liked teacher among the community. Does everybody agree? She has never said one bad thing about this district. She has always told me that she has loved it here. She's loved her kids. She's always considered her classroom of kids as her kids. And she worked hard to see that each one of her students learned and worked at their highest potential. You say you won't address the public unless it is behind closed doors in closed session, with your attorney present, and no recording or videotaping in order to protect the employee's privacy. I'm sure if you would ask your employee on the record if you could speak regarding the situation, she would be more than happy to give permission as long as she could be present with her legal counsel. If you don't have anything to hide, then sit down and talk to the people that elect you to be board members and pays the taxes that gives you the money to operate in the best interest of this district. Thank you.
public comment.
I'm Carrie Manser, 110 South Maple, Norborne, Missouri, 646. I've got one comment that I made to them earlier. I've been through a school closing. Do you know why that started? Do you know where it started? It started with our high school becoming a revolving door for less than stellar teachers. We lost confidence in the school. We lost students. Parents took their children and went elsewhere. It trickles down. Don't let our elementary become a revolving door for less than qualified teachers, so we lose our school. That's something no one wants to happen. Please evaluate what's going on and what we are doing as far as hiring and firing and keeping and protecting the teachers, because that's what's important for our kids. Thank you.
Anyone else? No one else? Okay, with that, we're gonna move into the new business part of it. And under the new business, item A is parents' concern. First one up is Jared Webb.
As you all know, I do not live in the district, but I do pay taxes here. And in time, I will be living in the district. I've worked this out with previous administration for my kids to attend school here in Norborne. And that way later on, I won't have to uproot them, losing friends from somewhere else. A lot of things I'm hearing have me concerned about this district. With having 3 young kids and a long way to go in public school system, it scares me that this administration can run off a great teacher. Parents have only had good things to say about her as a teacher, and her numbers are top notch. 6 of you board members here, only 2 of you have had kids taught by her. Did you ever have any issues with her as a teacher? I'm guessing you didn't, or else you would have already had gotten rid of her, and my daughter wouldn't have the opportunity to be taught by her. When we have good teachers, we need to keep them here for our kids and our community. Presently, we only have 1 tenured teacher in the K-5 elementary core classes. We need stability in our school. We need good teachers that want to stay, produce quality education for our kids. She wants to stay in our district. 4 on this board have not had children in the elementary for over 3 years and can only get their information from the administration and by listening to what parents have to tell them. I'm here as a parent to tell you I'm extremely pleased with her performance. She has always been exceptional with communicating with us regarding our daughter's performance and what is taking place in the classroom. She has always been pleasant and welcoming. My daughter has advanced significantly. parent-teacher conference with her, we found out that our daughter's reading score started at a 2.0 and is now a 3.3 grade level. And her class as a whole averaged from a 2.29 to a 3.56 grade level. For math, our daughter went from a low D to a high B. The class average was a D to an A. And this is just results up to the third quarter.
Thank you, Jared. Jared, we're probably gonna have to go into closed session if we're gonna talk about students and employees.
That's just statistics. It's our daughter.
What was said?
There's no names.
There's no names.
No name.
That's just statistics.
I'm just a little worried. We're bored. Some of you board members, do you think it's
Thank
funny?
you. Thank you.
You know what? You know what? There's three things I want to know. Have you people put into policy three things behind everybody's back? Because you're doing everything else behind everybody's back. Number one, are you put into policy lying? Have you put into policy demeaning people? And now we keep people under control because we need them scared of us. I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be, boys and girls. It's not funny either. If you think it's funny, you need to get out.
I believe it's in the district's best interest to have the rest of yours in closed session.
Okay.
I make a motion to go into closed session.
Yeah, what are we sweeping under the rug?
Yeah.
What are we hiding? In the library. Go take care of him, Mr. Attorney Man.
And you know what?
Because I believe I read in the minutes from the previous board meeting where the teacher, parent grievance, student's name, and all of it was published. So it clearly was not in.
In the newspaper.
That's a fair question to ask. What's that? Okay. It depends on what the content of what they have to say is. You want to read it? I don't care. And again, it's Jared can share whatever he wants to share with you all. It's just a matter of what goes in the board minutes. So the district
Because you
would
don't
be
want
at
people
risk.
to know it? It's just statistics about our
He
kids.
can absolutely tell you that. He absolutely
I
tell
know
you
it because my child's in that class.
that. He can absolutely tell you that. But it can't be in the board minutes.
Why can't it be in the
question you're
board
talking about,
minutes
we would
that
absolutely
that
be at risk
teacher
if that teacher
improved scores?
had, a grievance against the district. Because that was a bad choice two minutes ago.
So it's a new thing.
No, it's not a new thing. It was an inconsistent.
So this attorney comes to every meeting?
That you had.
If the teacher that you were talking
Things that you
about,
were not doing correctly before.
if the teacher that you were talking about had a grievance against the district would not be positioned very well. So if you do the same thing here.
You're not positioned very well right now as it
you'd be in that
is.
position For that reason. So I don't know if that's not a satisfying answer. I know
No,
that
it's
is
not, because you're not consistent with what policies you want to uphold and what you don't.
Right.
And when was the last time you guys read your Board of Ethics, huh?
Code of Ethics, yep.
Sure the hell not following any of them.
I printed it out.
Go next door, I will be back.
We'll be here. We'll be here all night. Yep. I got it on camera.
I don't know what you got to say, but I just thought of this and they're not going to let me say anymore. So if people
You wanna read
consider
it?
it, just read it and consider it.
You can read over mine real fast.
Hey! Woo! Listen to me, I have a small voice and I get camera shy, whatever. I'm gonna try to say this in front of you guys, okay? The current environment appears to be toxic and detracting from all overall educational experiences for elementary students. Focus appears to be directed away from providing a solid learning environment to the self-preservation and concern for overall job security. This was written, he did not.
Has that been given to the board or to the superintendent?
Jared's gonna give it to him.
She was just finishing up since.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that you guys heard this before they got it and tried to not keep it.
Yeah.
We can give copies. We have copies at home. Yeah, no, he kept a copy at home.
Things would be beneficial for me to gather for the.
Yeah, publish it all.
Things I can put in, but I'm willing to take it all.
Put it all in the
It may
newspaper.
take me several weeks to get it in there.
This video's going on YouTube as well for everyone to see and share.
I'll take a copy of anything anybody has after they're done.
Well, I know I gave you it. I know I gave you it too. Oh, shit, I got to look for it today. I'm like, Somebody gonna bring up this business?
I'm going to. I should have made 2 copies of this, so if they make me go, you could have kept reading it.
Make you go.
What?
Somebody could read it to this bunch?
Yeah. It's just yeah. You be on watch out, Krista. All right. Here's the speech that I have prepared. To Superintendent Lentz, the members of the Norborne R-VIII School Board, and to those whom it concerns in attendance of this meeting. Most of you all know me, but allow me to introduce myself as well. My name is Casey Lester, and I'm the mother of 4 Norborne Pirates, ranging from 1st grade to a senior graduating this year in 2018. I didn't grow up here or graduate here, but in 2012, my husband and I decided to move our family here because I needed to help take care of my aging grandparents, and because I knew this was a fantastic school district. My mother's family had all attended school and graduated here. My grandfather was a past school board member here, and we fell in love with the staff and the culture here. I knew this is where I wanted my teenage son to graduate and where I wanted my young daughters to grow up. Since that time, I've become very involved in the school district as I feel it is important to take an active role in your children's education. I've volunteered many, many hours with the parents as teachers, athletic boosters, prepared meals for the Aggies, worked the book fair, junior, senior after prom, classroom parties, helped make signs and floats for classrooms, which, by the way, after we purchased a Cricut for the school, I still used my private Cricut to make signs because Mrs. Waters locked it up and wouldn't let them use it. And chaperone field trips, and am currently serving on the Hardin Norborne Consolidation Research Committee. I've worked more concession stand shifts and made more taco meat than I can count.
Hallelujah.
I have always been proud to be a member of this school district and do what I can to help the kids, and have entrusted the staff and school board to do what's best for the education of my 4 children. However, as of recently, my faith in this school district has been shook. We have a fabulous group of talented educators who spend more hours in the day with my children than I do, and to know what our administration and school board is doing to one of those educators is appalling. I believe in standing up for what is right, and that is what I am doing standing before you tonight. The forced resignation of Mrs. Lynette Mulch is disgustingly wrong, not only because of the way the school board has treated her personally, but because of the message this sends to all of our staff, that the job they do and the time and effort they put into educating our children is not appreciated, then it means nothing. This decision is not in the best interest of our children. Mrs. Mulch is a quality, top-notch educator who is loved by all of our children, from the older ones who have previously had her, to the younger ones looking forward to her class, to the current class of rock stars who have made leaps and bounds this year having her as their teacher. What message are you sending to our kids that their favorite teacher is being taken away from them based on bullshit politics and a shady agenda? Not what's best for their education. Second grade is a pivotal grade, a huge bridge between the basics of first grade and the leap to the harder subjects in third grade, and no one is better qualified to help those kids through that transition than Mrs. Mulch, who, I might add, as I understand, has never received one single negative performance evaluation, has continuously high classroom scores, and continuously produces extremely high-level readers, spellers, and math participants when they leave second grade. Who will fill her shoes? And how many more of our amazing teaching staff will leave now that they know how they could be treated next? They already fear speaking up because of retaliation. Is this the culture we want for Norborne? And speaking of a shady agenda, I feel like there is more to this resignation than just tenure. If it's purely financial, then tell us. We as taxpayers who elected you deserve to know. I still think that is a terrible idea, because the last thing we want is for Norborne to becoming a revolving door of brand new teachers who move on to bigger and better districts when they feel once they approach tenure, they will be forced to leave. How is that in the best interest of our children? I do, however, feel that there is more to this than just the tenure and the saving money. I feel there is some personal motivation to create a job opening, either for the wife of the superintendent or for a district teacher's assistant, who I might add cannot teach at 6 other area school districts which have been verified. That is alarming, extremely alarming, as this person works closely with an entire classroom of our students. Whatever the reasons may be, the district, namely the administration and the board, are embarrassing us as a school and community. The multiple wrongdoings, shady off-the-record meetings, policy changes, scrambling at the last minute to cover asses and sweep things under the rug, and trying to silence an entire community of concerned parents and taxpayers, as well as the unfair treatment of more than a competent staff member, is upsetting to this parent for sure. It goes against your board code of ethics, and once again is not in the best interest of our children, which is why we, all of us, are here, and why you, as the board, was elected. And on another note, I can tell you this: in the thick of us wanting a consolidation with neighboring school in order to better the opportunities of our children, you have embarrassed yourselves to the point of losing all credibility. I am extremely sad for the future of this school. This officially stands as my entrance of a grievance against the Norborne R-VIII School Board. You are failing our children, staff, parents, and taxpayers, and embarrassing our school district. You need to take a long, hard look at your conduct, and I ask that each of you consider stepping down so that we can elect patrons who have ethics and morals instead. Thank you. Please do not be afraid to admit you as a board may have made a mistake. Say you know you've been elected by the people and want to do what the voters want. Tear up the resignation of our second grade teacher and ask for her forgiveness. Yeah. They're still in closed session for one person.
Attorneys going back and forth.
Yeah. But he can't speak.
No, he's not in there.
Mrs. Waters was out in the hallway too. Yeah.
Right. It's my email address, although I think you have it.
Yeah, I do have it. What do you want me to send? Is that for the graduation stuff or for the?
Yeah, I'll email. Why you not as fancy as saying?
You're fine.
Okay, so first
First off, I'm not great at speeches. However, I do well with sticking up for what I believe is right and what's wrong. I may not know everything that's taken place in this school the last few months as far as the situation as a whole. But as far as the situation, But what I do know is an amazing teacher was forced to resign. A little about this teacher, since it doesn't seem that anyone has any high respect for her. She walks these halls daily with the weight of the world on her shoulders. What?
They didn't come back with you? They didn't come back with you? Oh.
It's Norborne. People talk and everyone knows this. But she still holds her head high and continues to love each and every one of her students, past, present, and she would love our future ones. And have her future here in our school. She continues to rise above and beyond for this school, our kids, and the community. Everyone can see her passion in what she does here. What? They are coming or they're not coming?
They are.
I'm like, do I go? Do I stop?
Well,
no, false alarm.
Liz came out and went back in.
She continues to rise above and beyond.
Oh, here comes Liz.
Okay, well, anyway. I'm like shaking. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Not with Tony Duck.
He doesn't get the opportunity.
Well, for example, if he would have stood up and said to you all what he's gonna say in there,
He already did.
that would be fine, because it's not one of the minutes.
It's going on YouTube, though.
And we know what he said. Nothing in what he said that.
Again, it's totally just a formality of how the minutes end up being put in, which I understand is an unsatisfying.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can he?
What was that?
He can. I mean, if you speech.
I wanted to videotape this.
But they said, they're like, well, not enough people standing up and talking, and it's like, I mean, I can throw something together, but it's not going to be what everybody else has,
Yeah.
because I haven't had the chance to look into everything.
They know why. They know why
But
they're
it's
doing
like,
it.
no, like, it's not going to happen.
What about the ag teacher? Does this happen to her? How many years?
You're going to make me do it again?
Does anybody know?
We don't know.
So, all right,
Becky's gonna finish.
Hey, that guy did not.
okay, I'll start back where I was. Everyone can see her passion and what she does here. Many says it's tenure that you guys
No, it's
have,
on the video.
Okay.
that you guys
Of
are
course
here
they
for
don't want
today,
it together.
which is pushing her out the door. Is that what you want
Oh,
all of
no,
our
they
other
wrote it.
teachers to end up in the same position and that has the same passion as Mrs. Mulch?
Oh.
Is that what they're looking at in their career at
I'll see
Norborne
what
High
happens.
or elementary? I've heard we have amazing applicants for her job. Quoted. That came from Miss Waters, by the way. Really? Maybe they are great teachers, but we already have that, and that's in Miss Mulch. Why not get rid of other teachers that per se have tenure, that have yelled into my children's ears, and that could have potentially caused them harm by causing damage to their ears? They've obviously lost their passion. Then we have a lady by the name of Miss O, that's now in 4th. I was told she's just a lady or a teacher aide or whatever now. She has cleaned off a student's desk and to the floor for not moving fast enough for her likings, and our children had to witness her outrage. I was informed that she was offered or promised the 2nd grade teaching position. Why? Because she's friends with Miss Waters. She has been banned from 3 schools around our area for her
6.
outrages.
It's 6 now.
6 now? I have Santa Fe, Lexington, and Carrollton.
Bosworth, Brunswick,
That is
Chillicothe.
not true about Santa Fe.
Not Santa Fe?
She is on Santa Fe's list
if they choose to call her.
Okay.
No one has been forbidden
Oh, okay.
to contact her, 'cause I verified that myself.
Well, see, it's good that
Okay.
I'm doing
Well,
this.
that was from a teacher, so.
Yeah,
Right.
they don't want her,
Oh,
they're not
okay.
gonna call. But she's on a list.
Okay, Bosworth was added today. Yeah, and there's a gag order. There's a gag order because they settled outside of court because she,
Just say she's been banned from other
yeah.
schools.
Okay, she's banned from other schools around our area. Yes.
Yeah.
They switched. It was a do one for me and I'll do one for you. Scratch my back.
Yeah.
You all have already got one of the board members who have resigned over not supporting this huge mistake that you guys are making. Do you want our community and school to be destroyed and ran into the ground more than it has throughout these years? Everyone here pays taxes and has supported our community and school when it has gotten shamed upon. As you can see, everyone is still here fighting to keep the good people here. Why is that? Because hard people is hard to find nowadays. We all agree up on that. I know, I just said that. There are still a lot more parents that wanted to speak up, but honestly, they're just too scared. Many say they're not good enough talkers, and many say that they don't want their kids to get the backlash, especially in sports. Many afraid if they ran a business that it would also step on toes. That's really sad because as a small community, we should be doing more of this, and that's standing up for what's right. As a member of our community and as parents, this is about our kids, you guys, not us. Also, people being allowed to go through personal files, that's not right. However, all this being said, I just simply ask that all of them reconsider their decision in making a simply amazing teacher resign. We need that in our school. We need the love for our kids because honestly, at the end of the day, where are our kids at? They're here 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. And we want them to have the same love in this school as what they do in our homes.